Hello everybody, I am the Southern Aviator and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we are here in the Fenix Airbus A320 200 current engine option with the CFM56 engines and wingtip fences. It's a very nice aircraft. Came out just last week, if not even before that. But yeah, this is a lovely aircraft. Arguably the most high fidelity aircraft ever in a flight sim before. I mean, just look at it. I've got this this livery in 4K at the moment, but I mean, you can just take a look at some of the texturing details, even in 4K that I've done here. It's really good, and I'm loving flying this aircraft so far. But here we go. We are in the Olympic Airways livery. Don't think it's actually used anymore. It might be. I'm not entirely sure. We are here at Thessaloniki, Macedonia Airport in a freeware scenery. It's currently work in progress, as you can see over there. It's not looking completely finished, but over here, certainly looking very nice indeed. And we're going to be taking a flight over to Rhodes Airport over in the Aegean Sea. So here we go. We've got a Frontier. What on earth? Well, that's certainly an exotic aircraft to be spawning in here in Greece. Frontier A320 Neo. Yeah, let's look away from that and pretend it's not there. But yeah, here we are in the brand new Fenix A320. I'm going to be doing a full flight in it today over to Rhodes. So let's get into the cockpit. So welcome into the cockpit of the A320, and yeah, let's get this thing started up. I'll go over to the overhead panel and we'll get batteries 1 and 2 on. And the external power on. Just take a moment to listen to the sound as well. There you go, very nice indeed. Loving the sounds in this aircraft so far. They are very nice indeed. So let's get the ADRSs 1, 2 and 3 over to nav. Crew supply can come on and the ground control switch can come on as well. Nav and no-go light can go to 1, emergency exit lights can be armed. Apart from that, we are done up here for now. Let's take a look at the electronic flight bag. This is really sought after, this EFB. There's a lot of things that other devs can learn from it, really. You can even use an external device. I'm not going to be using an external device today because I want to show you everything that's in this EFB yourself. So let's go over to the Fenix app, and the warnings are doing their self-test in the background there. And let's import the flight over from SimBrief. So that's perfect. We can scroll around here for all of the information that we need, anything important. So we've got the METAR for both our arrival and departure airports. So here we go. In Rhodes, no sign of change. We've got some clouds around. 10k viz, it's pretty good. And QNH 1009, compare that to over here. We've still got a few clouds, again 1009, and the weather is very similar. But yeah, that's it. There's the route here. You can take a look at that if you want to copy it. Just pause the video there if you wish. And yeah, here we go. Let's get some ground services going anyway. We'll get 1 and 2 doors open. Get the forward and aft stairs and the cargo and bulk doors there open as well. We don't need a PCA unit, and tug is unavailable. We don't need a pushback truck yet. Mass and balance, as I said, we'll get the load sheet very shortly. In fact, if I go over to this view here, we will at some point in the near future get a company message over on the upper eCam display to show that we have got a new message. But that is going to be in a couple of minutes time, so we've got a little bit to wait. In the meantime though, let's take a look around this beautiful aircraft again. It's a very nice day here, and we've got this Frontier A320 Neo ruining it for us, but I haven't got the traffic controller out. You know what, I can't stand that Frontier aircraft being there. Cannot deal with it. Right, let's go to traffic. Turn it off. And then that Frontier should disappear into nothingness. There we go. Gone. It's not there anymore. Perfect. So back into the aircraft. We do have a company message now. Let's go down here to the MCDU. Let's go to ATSU. We'll go to AOC and receive messages. There we go. There's our load sheet, preliminary load sheet. So let's have a look at that. How many passengers have we got on board today? We have 157 passengers on board today. So not quite a full aircraft, but it's pretty packed. So we'll accept the load sheet anyway, and we'll get the aircraft boarding. So here we go. Planned capacity for the passengers 157, cargo here 3,567, and the fuel today 6,361. So we've got another 3,300 to load up. I'll get that going for fast time, because hopefully we're going to be off the blocks earlier than our estimated 30 minutes. But anyway, that's that sorted out. Let's have a look around at the different things that you can do on the CFB. So first of all, you've got My Flight, which you've seen already. Today we've got our routing for today, and we've also got our flight, all the information that we need for that, our departure time, our estimated arrival time, and our flight number, and obviously our arrival and departure airports there. We've also got a METAR for both departure, arrival and alternate airports. Our alternate today is Antalya in Turkey. Very nice indeed. So what else have we got? We've got ground services, another thing that you've also seen today. It's a very, very nice system that they use here for the ground services. You've obviously got over on the left hand side an indication of what you've actually got open. You can also go to mass and balance, which you've seen as well. So that shows you, obviously, does what it says on the tin really. Mass and balance. Panel states, you can set it to cold and dark, turnaround with either APU or PCA, or ready for departure. You can also go into sim settings, change the airframe, get the standby instruments to, you can set it to analog as well. There is a really cool feature actually with the analog. Let's go to that view there, and let's cage it. Just watch that. Beautiful. The actual way that they've modelled that is absolutely fantastic. Cannot fault it. It's really, really good. I'm not a real world pilot. Well, I am, but I don't fly the A320. I fly a Cessna. So yeah, I'm not really sure how you know, in depth. I can't really judge, but I think looking from that, they've gone into so much. They've gone into a really high amount of detail there. Let's get this over to our digital display anyway. We can change the standby altimeter to metric. I'm not going to do that. You can basically set anything you want. Auto TCAS, all of these different things. We've got bake fans, brake fans on this aircraft. God, I can't speak. Brake fans on this aircraft, you can turn them off, and it shows on the engines as well. Cabin, you can change it so that you can't see the cabin if you don't want to. So if I turn that off and go to one of these views, there you go. You can't see the cabin, and yeah, all the way around. But if I go back into here, and which view is it? That view. Cabin visibility on. And now there's the cabin. So if I go over to this view here, you can see we have got an entire cabin at our disposal here. It's a really nice looking cabin as well. It's gone into a lot of detail. To the extent of... wait, which one was it? That view there. To the extent of... If let's go over here. Take a look at the seatbelt signs over here. And if I go to this view and get the seatbelt signs on, there you go. You can see the seatbelt signs are now on in the cabin. It's a really, really nice touch, and it same goes with the no smoking signs, but you can tell they've gone into so much detail here. And another really good feature here is that they haven't actually copied and pasted all of the information. They've actually put different numbers for the rows of seats. So it goes all the way to 30 in this aircraft, I think. So yeah, it's a really, really good aircraft. And the cabin, you know, the cabin just goes to show how much detail they've gone into it. Another cool thing, if we go to the external view, is you can see the sort of oil heat protection effects on the windshield. It's a really nice touch. The purple and the pink and the green and the blue, and you do see that in aircraft. It's a really nice touch, and it's again one of these little details that you don't necessarily need in a flight sim and a home desktop flight sim, but it's such a nice addition, and it's really noticeable the amount of detail that they've gone into. Another thing is the cones. The cones aren't necessarily in the same place each time, I don't think. I don't pay a huge amount of attention to exactly where the cones are, but they do in real life sort of just chuck them out approximately where they need to go, so they land in different spots, which is really cool, and they seem to have modelled that really nicely as well. Another notable thing, just there, the reflections, the weathering that they've gone to on this aircraft, really, really nice. The texturing, they've done a great job of, even in 4K. The 8K liveries, I'm not going to show on the video today because they're too beefy for my computer to run nicely. But I have had a look, and they are absolutely phenomenal. I mean, even here you can see the reflections and the different scratch marks and everything on the engines, but it goes into even more detail in 8K. So beautiful. Okay, so we've got GPS primary on board now. I'm going to go down to the MCDU again and take a look at our init page. So our init request here, we are flying from Thessaloniki over to Rhodes. GPS primary can go away, and I know my nav data is out of date. It's about 3 days out of date now, but that's not a huge issue because I think the flight plan is still valid. The flight number today is Olympic 47 something. Can't remember what it was. 478 maybe. Let me open up Volanta, take a quick look. 478, I was right. Very happy with that. 478. And yeah, let's take a look over on the EFB again. So the EFB not only has this app, you also have the pilot brief, which is very good. I can import my flight plan over from SimBrief into here, so I don't have to open another tab for SimBrief up, which is really nice. It's a great feature. So if I import the SimBrief flight plan, we can see all our routing and everything, and we can view it in Navigraph as well. So there we go, this will take you to the Navigraph app, and it should open in here. If we click proceed, no. Well, we can go to the Navigraph app, just like that, and take a look at our flight. So, re-import, we'll import that. And there we go, we have our routing perfectly imported over from our pilot brief app. So we've got our ground charts here, we can get our airport info. Amazing, really good integration of all these apps in. Boarding's complete, we'll dismiss that. But let's have a look over on the Fenix app, because I think it sort of gives us an overview of what we've got on our flight. So the cruising altitude is flight level 370 by the looks of it, so I'll chuck that in, and then the rest of it we'll use the pilot brief for. So cost index today 31, and we are 370 today for the flight. So if I go over to the MCDU again, cost index 31, flight level 370. We've already got GPS primary, so I don't have to confirm any alignments there. We do a wind request here, and that gives us all of our wind information. And there we go, wind data uplink, perfect. And init B page, so I can go back up here. There's a lot of switching around that you have to do, but if I go back over to the Fenix app again, and mass and balance, we can take our zero fuel weight and CG and everything from here. So, zero fuel weight today, 60.1. We'll round that up to 60.2 actually, because we've got a 5.6 on the end of that, and CG 31.1. So 60.2, 31.1, 60.2, and 31.1. Click on fuel planning, because we're probably not going to use all the fuel that we've got on board the aircraft today. We'll take a look. 3.6, so that's just over half of what we've got today, and then alternate will require us some more fuel, so that's okay there. So we've filled in our init pages now. Let's go over to the flight plan. Departure today, we'll have a look at that on the my flight LGRP 1 Echo. I'm not entirely sure what runway that is. Let's have a look at the pilot brief. It's a really intuitive system, this EFB, so it's really easy to access all the things that you need. But anyway, 28 LGRP 1 Echo and codec 2 Juliet for runway 24 for the arrival. So let's have a look at that. Runway 28 LGRP 1 Echo, we'll insert that. And for Rhodes, our arrival is the ILS Zulu. We'll take that and the codec 2 Juliet. No transitions today, and that is okay. So it's estimated fuel on board 0.7, which is a little bit of a concern. Interesting. But I might have to add some more fuel. Take a look at that. I don't think we really want that par waypoint there, but we'll step through it anyway and take a look at how it is. If I go to plan mode there, and I'll step through the flight plan, make sure that it's all okay. So there we go, there's the top of descent and down and to the codec arrival, and it goes a little bit funky there. So as you can see, it's getting us to overfly the airport, which isn't very ideal. So if I just clear Papa Alpha Romeo, and actually I think I don't know if that was right or not. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So codec, that's fine, and then we get to the intercept, which we don't really want, and then the par there, par runway 12, Rhodes, manual, Rhodes, and then get rid of that discontinuity. Should we see how that turns out? Okay, there's something wrong now there as well. I'll get rid of that and clear the discontinuity. Where is it? There it is. If I clear that discontinuity there, then it gives us a slightly better routing. And I'll probably give us a few vectors for that arrival as well. There we go. We've still got estimated fuel on board for our arrival as 0.7, which is slightly concerning. I'm not entirely sure, can't remember if that's the block fuel in the aircraft. So if I change that to 5, whether it'll still give me an EFOB 2.1, yeah. Well, this prediction from SimBrief obviously hasn't done a very good job. If I chuck 6 in there, EFOB 3.1, still not enough. Well, I've only got 6.2 in the aircraft, as far as I'm aware. And it's still complaining. But 3.3 estimated fuel on board should be fine, fingers crossed, for that, because I'm not intending... The weather's good, and we're probably not going to need to do a go-around or any missed approach, diversions or anything. I think diverting to Antalya is a very unlikely thing to happen, so I'm going to leave it as EFOB of 3.3, and that should be fine. I'm not going to refuel the aircraft any more than it is already, but that is the flight plan complete. Now let's go back over to the performance. We'll go to the departure performance here in the menu. We're taking Thessaloniki runway 28. The runway is currently dry. We'll sync the final load sheet and we'll sync the live weather as well. We'll click calculate on that. Okay, 147, 147 and 1.49 on the V-speed, 1 and down 0.2 on the flaps and trim. Flex temp 63, and we'll keep the thrust reduction as it is. So I'm not going to remember all this, but it's 147, 147, 149, flaps 1, up, no, not up, it's down 0.2, and flexed temp was 63 degrees. Engine out 1020, so I'll chuck that in there, and 1020 slash 1020 1020. Perfect. And that's the performance page completed. So if I go back up to the overhead panel here, we have not got the APU started yet, but I will do that now. So APU must switch on. 1, 2, 3 seconds, and start can come on as well. Okay then, so our APU is now available. We'll get the APU bleed on and the external power can come off. Ground control switch can come off, and we'll get the fuel pumps on. Perfect. Cargo heat can go to the centre. Don't want it too cold in there, but we'll have it reasonably warm. So I've got all of the information here inputted all nicely. Get the engine page off, we'll get it on to its usual thing over on the lower ECAM display. Apart from that, we are absolutely fine. Set the altitude up to 37,000, not 49, that's way too high. 37,000 set, and let's check the landing gear, 3 green up there, perfect. Apart from that, we are ready for our departure, so I think the QNH here was 1009, 1009 is set. Once and twice and 3 times. Perfect. Overhead panel is looking fine, ready for engine start. Now it's time for us to get the pushback helper. Pushback. That was very well spelt. Pushback helper. Perfect. Okie dokie. So here we go. We'll request our tug. Tug is active. and I'll get us back to a good view. Target's disabled now. Okay, connect, please. Yeah, just connect. Shouldn't be rocket science. No, obviously is. Okay, we got a company message. Let's take a look at that quickly. I hope we're not late. Let's go to ATSU. I think that might be our final load sheet actually. So receive messages, load sheet. Yeah, that's our final one. Let's accept that. Pax 157 plus 5. So now, yeah, we've got 162. That should be right. Let's go over to the Fenix app and double check our figures. Oh, okay. So we do have 157 on board. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Good. Target's connected anyway. So we are ready to go. Apart from the fact that it's disabled, so that's great. It's connected. I've released the parking brake. It's still disabled because it's disconnected again. Fantastic. That's great. Well, we're going to have to improvise here, guys. Unfortunately, I think we might have to start the engines on stand and see if we can get a turn in. So let's get the beacon light on, and we will get the engine mode selector over to start and hope for the best. Right, engine 2. There we go. Okay then, so the engine is starting pretty well. We'll just wait for the available. There we go. Engine 2 is now available. Let's get engine 1 going as well. Okay then, so engine number 1 is now available, so that's absolutely perfect. We're ready to make a slightly illegal turn around here at Thessaloniki. Let's take a look outside. Get the parking brake released here and take a bit of a risky turn. Here we go. Let's hope we don't catch the wing on anything. Think we're safe so far, and that should be the worst of it dealt with. Yeah, I think we've done it. Lovely stuff. Perfect. So that was slightly unrealistic, let's say, but necessary, considering the pushback doesn't like me. So that is quite unfortunate, but we did make that turn. It was probably a little bit risky. Shouldn't have done it in real life, but in real life the pushback tugs aren't as stupid, so got to balance it out, I suppose. Anyway, here on the taxiway over to runway 28, where we are taking off today. We'll get off the apron as soon as we can, and while I remember, actually, let's get the strobe light to auto. I didn't put the no smoking signs on, but they're always on anyway. AP bleed and AP master switch can come off as well. Let's get the terrain radar on later on. We'll extend the flaps very shortly, and ground spoilers arms, engine mode selectors over to normal. Yeah, there we go. Right then, so we've got relatively short taxi over towards the runway. Certainly shorter than any big international airport that you find anywhere else. But yeah, we've extended the flaps to flaps 1, as they're meant to be, and we'll get this aircraft up towards the runway now. We'll get the terrain radar on very shortly, and QNH is set. Auto brake can go over to max. We'll test the takeoff config when we're closer to the runway. Okay then, so we're getting towards the runway threshold now. I'm going to take the furthest entry onto the runway here. And we'll hold at the holding point. For runway 28, here we go. Okay, so we'll hold there quickly. We'll set the parking brake. Flaps are set to config 1, spoilers are armed. Everything else, we'll test the takeoff config. Takeoff config is normal. And we'll go over to the overhead panel. Landing lights can go on. Nose light can go to takeoff. Runway turn off can come on. Strobe lights can go to auto. Wing lights can come on, and the nav and logo lights will leave on to position 1. Perfect. We've got no problems here with the aircraft. You can set up failures, by the way, if you want. I think I will maybe simulate some on the channel at some point soon, but that should be quite a fun experience. We'll do some interesting approaches and stuff with this aircraft. I really want to show you what it's capable of. But yeah, Rhodes should be a nice one to go to today. Okay, so we are ready for our departure. I'll release the parking brake and we'll taxi out. We'll get the TCAS TRA and terrain radar can come on. A little bit of power to get us going. There we go, perfect. So yeah, at the moment I think the weather radar is in op, but that's a SOBO issue. Hopefully they're going to fix that soon with maybe sim update 10 or something. I'm not entirely sure. but do let me know in the comments section if you know any more than I do, because that would be great. So got our flight directors on, dash dot for the speed, dash dot for the heading, altitude dot, and VS is dash dot as well. All is good. Get our nose down pressure a little bit, and get the engines about 40% there. Stabilised. Man flex, SRS nav, auto thrusters blue. Listen to those sounds, absolutely amazing. $80 knots cross check. Nose neutral there. Very long runway here today. And V1 rotate. Perfect. Positive rate, gear up. I'll just follow the flight directors out here. Perfect. The Airbus is a really nice aircraft to hand fly. Right, so I think I accidentally went for the wrong buttons for the TCAS, but I'll clear that anyway. There we go. I've cleared that message. We'll get this aircraft into thrust climb, and we'll get the flaps up very shortly. I'll get back on track as well. But this sim is just beautiful. Get the flaps up. There we go, flaps coming to clean. We can disarm the ground spoilers now. And apart from that, we'll get the nose lights to off. Runway turn off lights can come off as well. And that's it. So, right, let's get the autopilot on. Get some more cinematics without messing up the flight path. Okay then, so we've reached 10,000 feet, the speed is increasing up to just about 317 knots by the looks of it. Now we can turn the landing lights off, and yeah, wing lights can come off too, and we'll get the seatbelt signs off when we're slightly higher up. Okay then guys, so we're slowly climbing up to our cruising altitude of flight level 370, 37,000 feet. We've just passed over Skiathos, which I've just shown a short clip of there, and we're going to be heading over mainland Greece very shortly. We've got about 320 miles to go, and our top of descent is in less than 160, so pretty good going, and we'll get to our top of climb in about 25 miles or so. But yeah, now is a good time to get the seatbelt signs off, let everyone out of their seats, and please like, comment and subscribe if you've enjoyed watching so far. Greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching so far, and I hope you're enjoying it. Again, drop a comment, tell me what you think, and yeah, that's it really. Give you some more cinematics before our descent, and we'll go through some descent planning very shortly. But yeah, get to our cruising altitude first, and then see how we go from there. Okay then guys, I hope you enjoyed some of those cinematics. Got some nice shots of Skiathos there in Athens. Got Athens airport as well, very nice indeed. But now we are heading across the Aegean Sea. We're going to be taking a turn very soon over this VOR. Not sure what it's called, Kilo Echo Alpha, and we'll be heading a lot further towards the east now, and we've got about 80 miles until our descent, so something worth thinking about now is actually planning for our descent. So let's go over to the EFB here, and we've, as you can see, got just below half the way throughout the flight, and yeah, let's go to the home page now, and we can go to Navigraph, and we can get the Rhodes charts up. So we'll get the arrival charts. Now I believe it was the codec arrival. Have a look for that. Codec. That's the hotel arrivals to Sierra. We want Juliet, ideally. There we go. To Juliet. Here we go. Okay then, so what have we got? So our arrival today is going to take us on a radial 262 degrees towards the Rhodes PAR VOR there. Transition altitude is 6,000 feet, and this is going to involve some vectoring, because yeah, I don't want to do all that. And it's not actually on our routing as far as I'm aware. Yeah, so basically I organised it so that we, after codec, just vector in for the arrival into runway 24. So I'm going to vector out from Papa Alpha Romeo, go to runway, let me think about this, I'll have to have a look actually. The Rhodes charts, if we go to ground charts and airport info, there we go. If we go 065 degrees, we'll go parallel to the runway in the opposite direction, we'll fly downwind, and then over Rhodes town to intercept the ILS. But if we take another look at the other charts, should have some approach charts, there we go. Grab the approach charts, and have a look at the ILS Zulu for runway 24. Okay, so basically it's telling us to come in from the other direction. What's the Yankee telling us to do? Yankee tells us the same. So basically what I'm going to do is disregard all of that and go the other way, because that's just how I roll. But yeah, all of the arrivals are suggesting basically Papa Alpha Romeo, and then it's all the VOR at whatever DME it is around an arc, pretty much in the other way. But I know from experience that aircraft don't do that sometimes. They take the other route in for runway 24. Let's have a look at VOR Zulu. That's not that one. It's not that one. I think they usually just do vectors in, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure from the north. But if I take a look on Flight Radar 24 and select Rhodes, I'll show you quickly what it looks like. So here we go. I'll just open this out, and yeah, so what we can see here is the aircraft has come in from Athens, and we're basically following the same route as this aircraft here, and the aircraft's been given vectors to fly downwind of the airport and straight in at what altitudes? So it's gone in at about 1,000 feet on an RNAV by the looks of it. Doesn't look very ILS to me, but that proves my point there. From what I've seen on the charts, we haven't actually got to go around this whole DME arc and all that shenanigans. Don't really like that, so I'm not going to bother with it, because that's not what a lot of aircraft do over at Rhodes. So I'm actually, if I turn that to day, actually, I'm going to disregard the charts and just go from my own vectoring, which is probably, you know, not the best idea, but we'll have a look anyway. I'm going to see if there are actually any arrivals that come in not via Rhodes VOR. It doesn't look like there are any actually. Navoc arrivals? Yeah, again, DME arc. They all use the DME arc, and we're not going to use that today, so I'll disregard the charts. Anyway, descent is coming up very soon. I'm going to enter the information into the MCDU. So to do that, I'm going to go back to the home page, over to the Fenix app, and I'll go to the weather. So let's get the METAR up for Rhodes Diagras. Currently wind 240 at 11 knots, so we have a perfect headwind coming in at us, which is brilliant. QNH 1009, 21 degrees, so quite nice weather going on there, really good. So let's go down to the MCDU. We'll go to the performance page, enter destination data, too steep path ahead. Yeah, we're going to sort that out with our vectors. QNH 1009, temperature is 21 degrees. The wind's 276 at 15, let's put it in as, but I see 240 at 11, so I'm going to chuck that in there. And let's have a look at the final information stuff that we need from the charts. There's one little thing that I need, is the baro. So let's go for approach ILS Zulu, and here we go. So I think they've actually done a they usually do circle to land by the looks of it, but oh well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the straight in landing. We'll go 340. I think I'll do for the minimums. Okay, I'll set 340 because I'm not going to do a lock arrival. We'll just do a straight in. Although it is suggesting that if we did a circle to land, we'd take 1100 as our minimums. I'll chuck 1100 in. Okay. That's fine. So I'll do 1100 just to stay on the safe side in case we do end up doing a little circle to land. But yeah, that's the information inputted from there. That's all good. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for when we finished our descent. Select desired system. I don't think we need to do anything in here. If I take a look at the AOC menu, I think I forgot to do the flight init. If I do an init data request now, it might input everything. We'll have a look and see. But I don't really use the AOC menu anyway, unless, of course, we are online, which I intend to do on YouTube at some point soon, a VATSIM flight, because VATSIM flights are good fun. Let's go to the performance page, descent, and here's the approach. So we could take config 3, I'm thinking maybe, for the landing. Thinking about this. We've got a long enough runway, we'll do config 3, and actually I'll tell you what, there's a cool feature. I haven't actually used it yet. It's the arrival performance, which is designed just for this. So if I refresh the meter, apply that, landing weight, to be honest, I don't know. I can't get it straight in from the aircraft, but let's have a look how long we've got for descent. We've got 20 nautical miles until descent, so I'll do this during the descent as well. But landing weight, I genuinely don't know. We'll do a manual land, low auto brake, we'll do idle reverse, flap 3, auto throttle can be on. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm not sure what the landing weight is. Let's have a look and see what it predicts. Got the fuel on board. Now I can't remember where I can see this. I probably should know, but might be the flight in it. No. Okay. Okay then, so I'm just going to estimate this, I think, but let's say that we burn off. I'm not entirely sure how much we'll burn off fuel-wise, but here we've got our live ground weight anyway, so I'll take it off of that and see if I can estimate something. But I'm going to put in 63.8 maybe. I'm going to try that, or 63.7 maybe. 63.7. Okay, so with idle reverse, we're going to use 2,256 meters of the runway. Here we go. We've got 240 degrees at 11 knots. Wind, we have no crosswind at all, just a headwind of 11 knots. So that's absolutely perfect. We're going to use low auto brake, and yeah, that's just an estimation of how much we're going to weigh when we get to the landing, but we'll use that as a rough estimate, because here we can see even with 63.7, which might be a bit of a high estimation, I'm not entirely sure, we would still have quite a lot of runway left, so nothing to worry about there. 2,256 meters. Perfect. So if I go back to this view here, we have got, we're back on the glide path by the way, but we have only got about 100 miles left to go, so that is perfect. We'll start vectoring ourselves at Kodiak, or just before maybe, just to round off that turn later on, but we'll get down to 1,500 feet, which is about maybe 5 miles away from the runway. 1,500 feet, I think that works, and we'll get onto the Pappies, so should work out perfectly fine, fingers crossed, he says. Famous last words. Seatbelt signs can come on anyway, and let's have a look and see how we're doing. So yeah, 27,000 feet, pretty good, and seatbelt signs are back on, so all the passengers can go back to their seats and not allowed to get up anymore. Okay then guys, so coming up on 10,000 feet in about 3,000 feet's time, so I'm going to set 2,000 feet here on the altitude bug, just to stay on the safe side, because I don't want to stop our descent before we need to. So we've got an altitude constraint of flight level 25 coming up here. Oh no, it's 250 knots. Have a look. Yeah, 2,500 by CI24 Zulu. So that's fine. We should be on track to meet that, considering we're currently on the glide slope. We're going to do a little bit of vectoring after Codic, which is in about 10 miles or so. 11. But close enough. Here's our decel point there, I think. We're getting down to 250 knots for 10,000 feet. So, perfect. But yeah, we'll come off the planned path very shortly. We'll take 065 degrees, just so that we're flying parallel with the runway, approximately. And yeah, we'll carry on from there, but let's say after Codic, we'll take just 065 degrees on the heading and vector our way in. So should be easy. We'll see. We'll set auto brake low, and there's 10,000 feet. So I'm going to go up to the top. Landing lights can come on. Wing lights can come on as well. Strobes can stay on auto. Nose and runway turn-off lights we won't need yet, but we'll get the cabin crew in their seats very soon. Apart from that, here we come down to 250 knots, and then after that we will start our turn. Just get that down to 065 again, because it went back into dash dot, which is fine. It's doing what it's designed to do. It's a very clever system. You just can't leave it doing nothing for too long. But there we go. Just about to pass Codic there. There's the turn. Get it into heading selects there. And here we go. We'll take minus 1,000 feet per minute, I think, just for now. We'll see how we go. Maybe 1,200. And we'll just stay nicely around the glide path, ready for us to come into 2,000 feet, just for the arrival. But this should hopefully mitigate the problem of the too steep arrival. There we go. So between CI24 Zulu and OM24, that was too steep a path, but I don't think that's a problem that we can solve. I think that's just the aircraft doing things. But it's predicting we'll be at 2,030 miles or so, so that should be okay. Just less than 30 miles. If we carry on at minus 1,400, if we go down to 1,700, you can see that arc has gone down a little bit. But again, we've got to just be careful and wary of the speed. But let's have a look. CI24 should be about 2,500 feet, so that's alright. And then we'll start our turn. But Rhodes Airport is just over there on the coast, so not very far to go now at all. Right then, so I'm going to get the Barrows back to 1009. That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. 1009 set and cross-checked all 1, 2, 3. And yeah, here we come through 5,000 feet. Just increase the glide path a little bit there. But actually we should be pretty decent in terms of the arrival. So basically what I'm planning to do is come right over the Rhodes town at the end of the very tip of the island there. That's what most of the aircraft do. The circle to land ones, as you saw on the Flight Radar 24, I hope, if it caught it previously, the circle to land one's coming just before that. But we'll see if we can capture the ILS. But yeah, I'll begin turning a little bit here. We'll take 100 heading for now. See where that puts us. And we can level out the VS a little bit. I'll see if I can get the speed back a little bit as well. We'll choose 220 knots. Take 130 on the heading now. That should be okay.
2,500.
Checked. Rad out callouts are active now. Okay, we'll get the landing system on. It has tuned to the ILS, so we're pretty much perfectly on the glide path now. We'll go flaps position 1. The nose should lift a little bit, but it's an Airbus, so it's not going to do plane things, it's going to do Airbusy things. But yeah, if we start turning in here, approach mode is selected, and we'll hopefully capture the localizer very soon. I think we might overshoot it actually. Nope, there we go, perfect. Carry on getting the speed back down a bit. Here we come over Rhodes town. I've been there, very nice place. I would highly recommend a visit for your holidays if you do want to go anywhere. Greece is a very nice place in general. Gear can come down. Oh, didn't want to do that. Let's get the speed coming down. We'll activate the approach mode. Performance, activate approach, confirm. And that should bring us down to VRAF. Lovely stuff. So we'll get the flap 3 on. I think we should be at flaps 3 there. Spoilers armed. Flaps 3 selected. We're ready to land.
100 above. Minimum.
Continue. Oh, a beautiful view out of the window there. Lovely. Autopilot disconnected. I have control.
500.
To be honest, you really don't have to do anything with the controls on the A320. They sort of does it all itself. There's a little few corrections that you've got to do, but I mean, if I make too many corrections, it all goes bonkers. So I decide to keep it to a minimum. There we go. I'll pitch up a little bit there, but it seems to all be going pretty well. He says, famous last words.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 5.
Right. Idle reverse. I was a little bit on the firmer side, I think. Tapped on the brakes a little bit too early there. My bad. But never mind. Reversers are back off now. And there's 60 knots. We'll take this exit here. Now I do realise I didn't quite remember to put all the lights on because I was too busy talking about how nice Rhodes is. But if I go back up to the top here, landing lights can be retracted, nose lights can go to taxi. I'm not going to put the runway turn off lights now because it's a little bit too late for that. Landing flap 3 can come off, and yeah, that's it. Welcome to Rhodes Diagras Airport, guys. It's a really nice flight, very nice approach indeed. I do like that approach. I've flown it a few times, and yeah, it's beautiful. So I go back up to the top here, master switch for the APU, 1, 2, 3, start can come on. And I'm sort of all over the place taxi wise, but never mind. I don't want to go to, I don't want to do that as well, no, didn't want to do that. Landing system can come off. I didn't put it on the other side because I'm not flying over the other side, so might have given me a performance improvement there. Certainly a little bit framey over here in the airport, but we'll taxi over, get parked up, and get the ground services going. That was a really nice flight. Flaps and spoilers can come in, if I can remember. There we go. That's how you do that. I've got some hotkeys for the stuff, and I always forget them. So at least I remembered them this time. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure who made this scenery. There's 2 sceneries available for Rhodes, and I think this might have been the cheaper one of the 2. You can definitely tell, but it still does the job. It still does a decent job of replicating the airport. It's decent. It's decent. Could be better, but I guess you get what you pay for at the end of the day. The rudder's a bit off. It's doing its own thing. We'll take stand 2, or is it 4 up here? It's 4. I might go 5. No, I'll go 4. Let's have a look. Start turning there. In we come. We'll get the taxi light off before we blind any imaginary ground handling people who aren't there. AP bleed can come on, and seatbelt signs can stay on until we've parked up, and then we can let all the plebs out in the back. There we go. I would call that a very successful flight. Really good fun. But there we go. Engines if I get this camera into a decent view. I've got to turn it around a little bit because one of the buttons on my controller's broken. There we go, we've landed. That was not too bad of a stop actually. But if I go back to the interior view, get engine 2 and engine 1 off. And yeah, that's the end of this flight today. This aircraft, I guess, would probably go back over to Thessaloniki now. I'm pretty sure it's a real-world flight. I saw it on Flight Radar and thought I was going to replicate it. That was a couple of days ago. Took me a few times to get this flight recorded and done, because I had some issues with my PC, needed sorting out. But here we go. Nice early sunset here at Diagras Airport. Okay, so if I go back into the cockpit there, APU is on and available. Beacon light can come off, wing light can come off, seatbelt signs can come off as well. All the passengers can come out. Let's commence deboarding, hopefully get the ground services menu up. Doors, 1 left and 2 left, forward and aft stairs, forward and aft cargo, and the bulk cargo as well. So here we go everybody, welcome to Rhodes. Really nice flight today from Thessaloniki. The time now is probably around 4 o'clock-ish, 4:30 in the sim. Really nice flight, really enjoyed it. I hope you did as well. Please do like, comment and subscribe guys, and buy this aircraft, £49.99 sterling. Really worth the price. It's so good. The flight dynamics and everything. I'm not a real world Airbus pilot, but I have heard from other content creators who are. 320 Sim Pilot, V1 Simulations, I'll link their channels in the description below. Hopefully you've watched them before. I really hope you have, because I'd highly recommend them. But they do think that this is a very good rendition, as far as I'm aware, of the A320, and I do, as much as I'm not as qualified to comment as they are. But I mean, just listen to some of the sounds and everything. If I go back into here and get the fuel pumps off as well, I remember. Fuel pumps are off now, and there we go. But here we go. Thank you very much guys for watching this full flight video, and I will see you in the next one. I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much, and hopefully we'll be somewhere else in the world next time. Goodbye.